Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another video, and in this video I'm going to talk about this one simple sentence, which is that you can improve way faster than you think. And this video is going to be basically broken down into three simple parts, which are going to be my story, how I did it, and how you can do it. So let's start with my story. So you may or may not know me, but regardless of that, I'm currently GC2, but a GC3 peak this season player who started in August playing the game again, since I hadn't played since season 10. So I had not played the game for a very long time. And before then, even when I had played, it was never my main game. I never put in, over like a couple hundred games a season. It was very infrequent, very inconsistent and stuff, right? But then, in August, I got the love for the game again, and I really started grinding it, as my main game for the first time ever. And that time, I was a 1400 peak, 1460 to be exact. And because I was starting in placement games, I was starting at about like 1350 or so, right? And I went from, in that, 2 months, the next 2 months, so from that August, whatever day it was, to that October day, whatever it was, I was basically just exactly 60 days apart. Quite literally exactly 60 days apart. I went from 1460 peak, current 1350, all the way to 1715. And I hit my first GC3, rank ever. And it was very, very, cool, and it was very fast progression, right? Like most people who get to GC1 do not get from GC1 to GC3 in 2 months. It doesn't really happen very much. Not to, glaze myself or something, but it is more uncommon than common, let's put it that way. And the reason I want to share this with you guys is because a lot of people that, I see all of these misconceptions on Rocket League communities where people think that you need a crazy amount of hours to get good at the game. People think that, at the GC plus level, it's literally just how many hours you play. And it's kind of an easy way to cope, really, because, people who can't play a lot of hours say that, it's just about the hours, right? Like, oh, well, I can only play 2 hours a day, but the people, who are high ranked than me, they all must play like 8 hours a day, which is like, it's not true. Obviously, a lot of them do, but not all of them. There's always, people who are SSL, people who are higher ranked than you in GC3 and stuff, who don't have very many games played, right? Because not everyone, full grinds the game, not everyone cares as much, all that sort of stuff. So, what I want to really, kind of emphasize about how I did it is, I kept it simple. For the first, kind of, point here is, how I did it was I kept everything very, very simple and flowy, right? So it's this is a video game. This is a thing that should be enjoyable. It's literally made, for our dopamine receptors to take this game as a fun thing. To kind of look at the game and, find fun in it, right? And that's what I did. I kept it fun. I didn't make it into a chore, which a lot of people, for the sake of improvement, often want to do. Or, well, they don't want to, but, they think it's necessary. Which I'm here to tell you it's not, right? You do not need to make the game boring by doing, all the sort of training that you don't enjoy, by playing game modes you don't enjoy, all that. You don't need to do any of that. I promise you don't need to do any of that. I hit GC3 while basically mostly just playing 2s, not playing any 1s because I didn't find it enjoyable. I literally played less than 50 games. In the last 3 seasons, I played 50 games or less of 1s every single season. Because I don't really like it, right? And then I would do training in whichever way I felt like. So right now, for example, I would do this a lot in free play. I would just, go around and, try and score a bunch of shots and stuff, right? I would do a lot of free play. This is my biggest kind of training method because I think it's the most fun. I think it's the most kind of flowy, the most, creative, and the most entertaining as well. But I also did sometimes custom training packs. If I felt like I wanted to work on my power shots specifically, for example, Then I would go into shooting packs, so then I could, you know, get good at doing this stuff. And it was a lot of just, what do I feel like doing? I'll do it, you know? So like, the first thing that I want you guys to take away from this is like, if you really want to progress fast, you should not make the game boring in any way, right? So keep it fun. Now, secondly, what I did was that I was consistent. I didn't play, you know, a lot of playtime for a week and then get off for the next week and don't play at all. I didn't do like, you know, days where I'd played like 25 hours a day, you know, and then not play again the next day at all. No, I literally stuck with a consistent, I don't want to say routine because it wasn't a routine, honestly, but I stuck with a consistent amount of playtime every single day, every single week. I was running about 70 hours past 2 weeks, which is about 35 hours a week, which for some of you is going to sound like way too much. And for some of you, it's even going to sound like completely, you know, normal. Or for some of you, it might even sound like very little. Whatever it might be. Like, the amount of hours you play genuinely does not matter as much as people think. It is not just the hours. Because there's people out there right now and in that period where I, you know, got that crazy rank ups, who played more Rocket League than me. And they did not improve, you know, maybe even 10% as much. There's literally people out there who are diamond and platinum with like 10,000 hours. And no offense to those people. Absolutely not. If you know, are not trying to rank up, you just play for fun and your rank is, you know, whatever, that's good for you, bro. It genuinely does not matter to me what rank people are, you know, in what hours, because it doesn't really matter. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, like, you need to get rid of the mindset of like, oh, I just need more hours. Like, I need more hours. No, you need more quality hours. Like, the amount of hours you play genuinely does not matter whatsoever if none of them are ever good quality. If you never have those training sessions where you're, you know, fully locked in and you're actually just like trying to, you know, push your mechanics to the absolute limit, you're trying to challenge yourself. You're trying to push yourself for, you know, to hit cool shots and find different ways to score. You know, like, I literally did this as I was ranking up. I would come here every day, take the ball on top of my car, flick, until I could get top ends like 90 kph like that. And I would just do this. And then I would just get like bad flicks, and I would get good flicks, but I would do this for a while, right? And I would literally just spam this drill, for example. And it would just like get me really good flicks, right? Well, like, I stuck consistently to this. It wasn't like I would do this one day and then I wouldn't do it the next day, and then I would maybe do it, you know, again in like 2 weeks. No, every single day. I literally had like those 2 months. I probably had a day where I didn't play like any Rocket League, like, you know, didn't touch the game, like no free play, no rank, no nothing. Maybe one day out of 60, if even that. I honestly don't think there was a single day. I think it was genuinely just 60 days of pure grinding. The thing is, like, if you want to get better at anything in life, especially Rocket League, you need to be consistent at it. You're never going to get good if you're not playing the game enough. So, like, that's honestly why I never really got high rank before this. Was like, because, like I said at the start, like, it was never my main game. It was like a side game where I, you know, would play like maybe a couple hundred games or something. But like, if you truly want to improve as fast as you can, right, like the title of this video, like, you can improve so much faster than you think just by like putting in quality hours. So like, I would come into every session with an intention, like, oh, today I'm working on my flicks, right? Like I just showed you in the drill. Sometimes I also had to work on my shooting, so I would do this second drill, which is by Scrub Killer. I would do, you know, take one touch and then you take power shot, and it has to be like a good placement, you know, power shot. Like that wouldn't count because it's in the middle, right? Very bad. And I would literally do this as well for like a long time. And it's like, it's just about what are you willing to do to rank up. That's really most of what it is. Like, you can improve way faster than you think by having a lot of hours, but also having those hours be quality. Like, Rocket League is not a game of just quantity, right? Like, people who went pro did not, you know, like right now, people like Squishy and all that, you know, like the really experienced pros, like they might have 10,000 hours, 15,000 hours, whatever. They don't have that many overall. Like, or not overall, sorry, but like they didn't have that many hours when they went pro. You know what I mean? Like I heard that Nico, the guy on Novo Esports, has like 7,000 hours. Like, do you see how crazy that is? Like, there's people with 7,000 hours who are plat, bro. Not many, probably, but there's some diamonds, some champs, some GC like ones with 7,000 hours. I have like between like 5,000 and 6,000 probably in GC3. Nico has gotten like, he's played in like top 16, top 8 in major, not majors, but like opens. Like, number 2 in LCQ. Like, and this guy only has like 1,000 or 2,000 more hours than me at the most. Like, if you think about that, it's like, that's pretty freaking crazy, right? Why is that? Well, because at the start of my Rocket League journey, when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and I had 1,500 hours and I was stuck plat 2, guess what? I hadn't played with quality at all. I was only playing for quantity. My first 1,500 hours, guys. Literally, I was 9 to 10 years old. It was like 2015, 16, whatever. And I was like just horrible at the game. I was horrible because I was just playing purely quantity, right? Because I was a little kid, had like no things to focus on and stuff. So I would just like play the game a lot, but I'd never like tried to improve. I never actually, put in like training time. I never played with any intention, never had anything to focus on, literally like blamed my teammates like pretty much every game that I can remember. Was pretty toxic as well, for a 9-year-old or 10-year-old or some shit. I was, talking trash to people who I thought were bad. Like I was that guy. I was hard stuck the same way like a lot of you guys might be. And all that changed is that I started taking the game with quality, right? So that's the second thing of how I did it. And the third is that I surrounded myself with better players, right? I surrounded myself with people who are actually like really good at the game. And that is, I think, genuinely, I think without this point, I would have never gotten to the point where I am today. Like, I probably wouldn't have even like made this channel. I probably wouldn't have even like made my Twitch out. I probably wouldn't even like be here to making this video right now. But like, I went on the 6-man's server, Discord server, and I went into the like LFT channel. And I saw like a looking for team thing by some guy, and I DM'd them, and then I got a tryout scrim with them, and I mean they were way better than me at the time. Like, it was not really close, but I played decently enough in the scrim, even though we lost. I played decently enough to the point where they wanted to, play with me again. And so we did. And like, they were both like 1,700 MMR peaks, and I was literally playing with them as like at that time I was like still like high 1,400 or maybe like low 1,500 now. But like, I did some of the like stuff myself at the start, but like most of my climbing was after I met them, which was like just, it was crazy because I started playing 2s, with better players. I started playing, obviously the 3s and like tournaments and stuff with better players, and they kind of gave me pointers sometimes, when I would ask them, like I would actively seek it, right? It wasn't just like I would, just surround yourself, like I would just play with better players. Like, it wasn't just ask, like I would literally ask sometimes, like, yo, what do you think I'm doing wrong, bro? And it's like, yeah, because this guy might not be, prime Zen, but compared to me, he's still like way better than me, right? This guy was like 70 peak, while I'm like 1,500. So it's like, surely he knows a thing or two, right? And I was able to get some pointers from them and stuff, and that would kind of go into, like I said, the kind of intention, right? The focus. And I would have things to focus on them, and then I would try to improve on them. So what I would also do, like what I did, well, and I would do if I had to do it again, it's like literally just surround yourself with better players and like try to actively seek improvement from those players. So like, I would never recommend being the guy who's on a team where you're like the best player, like by far and away. Like if you're gonna be the best player, at least have it be like close. But like if you're on a team where like you're so much like comfortably better than everyone else, or like, you know, if you're not on a team but you're just playing with your friends or something, like I would say that you should not play with people who are like worse than you. And a lot of people are not gonna like that, you know, because they like want to play with their friends and stuff. But like I learned this in Valorant when I was like Immortal 3 top like 2000 in all of Europe, like, and I learned it here in Rocket League. You don't want to team up with people who, you know, and play with people who are worse than you, because they're genuinely just gonna hold you back. And that's just a fact. That's like, it sounds harsh, and it is, but if you truly want to improve as fast as possible, you know, you can improve much faster than a lot of people think by, you know, playing with good players, or at least people, you know, who are better than you, and getting pointers. And I'm still doing that to this day. Not with that old team anymore, but now I have some new people, right? Again, you know, it changes over time. You get new connections, you know, you find new people, find people who are better than you, who have a different perspective, and they can offer you very valuable advice that can help you improve. And sometimes, you know, if they're like similar level to you, you can, or, you know, they're just have like, they're good at some skills, but not as good at others. Like they can, you know, help you in some aspects, you can help them in other aspects, you know? Like, for example, I have a friend who's SSL who, you know, he helped me, like he coached me with like my positioning and like taking time on the ball and stuff like that. Like my overall like decision making ish like stuff, right? And I helped him with his mental, and it kind of like, it's a symbiotic relationship of like, you know, we're both hungry to improve, and we both are like knowledgeable somewhat, you know, in different aspects. So it's like, I would say, you know, try your best to do that as well. Like try to literally just seek better players, find better players, you know, and like talk to them. Firstly, again, it'll, you know, like going back to an earlier point, it makes the game more fun to play with friends, to talk with friends, and, you know, like all that stuff. Like it just makes the game enjoyable. Secondly, it goes to the intention point of, you'll actually have a thing to focus on if they can help you, you know, find what your mistakes are and stuff like that. And third, like you will just improve simply by being around better players, by watching better players, like seeing their, you know, their gameplay, or, you know, by just playing with them, stuff like that. So that's kind of how I did it. Now, how you can do it, which is the last portion of this video, is very simple, and it's basically just do the same things. And it kind of sounds stupid, but it's like, you need to do all of these things if you want to improve as fast as possible. So like you could leave some of the stuff off. You know, you could just, you know, like skip the last one, and, you know, don't look for good players because, well, maybe you don't want to talk to other people, or maybe you just want to play alone, or like whatever you might have, like, you know, your reason as. Like, fine, you can absolutely do that, but like the reason these worked is because they do work. I mean, that's the simplest way to put it. And it sounds kind of dumb, but like, the reason I ranked up so quickly was because I did like the trifecta, so to speak. Like I did all of the things that you're supposed to do for improvement, and, you know, I gained results from it. And the thing is about this that like I kind of want to leave you guys with, that no one does this. No one, like genuinely no one. Like compared to the masses, you know, of players, to kind of the player count, so to speak, no one's doing this. Like, how many 1400s do you think got to 1700 in that same time, who were playing with better players, you know, socializing with better players, who were intentionally finding focuses and mistakes that they could work on, and strengths to improve, you know, every day, and who were, you know, playing the game consistently and like doing all these things? Do you think there's many? Like obviously there's some, but there's not many. And it's even less and less for all you guys in lower ranks. Because the amount of people who are doing all of this and are diamond, or doing all of this in our plat, or doing all of this in our champ, is less and less and less, right? Most people in those ranks don't take the game as seriously anymore, like at all. Like in GC, sure, yeah, people might start, wanting to get to SSL or, higher introducing stuff like, they might start training and warming up and, being a bit more intentional and stuff. But in your ranks, well, literally like whatever rank you really are, but especially in the mid ones and stuff, you're going to see that you're not really going to have very many people who are always like trying to play with you. So it's like, there's not many people who are doing the same things as you. There's not many people who are putting in these kinds of hours. There's not many people who are watching this video. There's not many people who are at the end of this video. So like take confidence and kind of be proud of yourself and the fact that like you are doing what is necessary to improve. And that kind of confidence that you take from the fact that you're trying to improve and you're actually doing it, that is also confidence that's gonna kind of be like that secret like fourth tip that helped me is like, you just need to be incredibly confident, and you're gonna get that confidence from the fact that no one else is doing this. No one else is willing to do what you're doing, so to improve. So it's like, why would you ever struggle to rank up if you're doing what no one else is willing to do, right? You wouldn't. So that's kind of what I want to end this video off on. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video and you like how I explain things and all that, check out my coaching, first link in the description. I'm a one-on-one coach where I do replay reviews, where I tell you your mistakes and I give you clear focuses on how to fix them and stuff. So if you're interested in that, well then check the description and first link will be there waiting for you. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. So, peace out.